All right, everybody, welcome back to the Travi Wavi. I am your affable host, Travis Eason, and we are coming to you again live from the 325 in beautiful downtown historic Abilene, Texas, the storybook capital of America. And every week we do these Travi Wavi podcasts, and I try to bring on interesting, fun characters from the storybook capital of Texas and get to know them and introduce them to you. And I think I brought another great one today, friends. I hope that you enjoy her as much as I do. This is Miss Donna Dorsett. Welcome, Donna.
Oh, thank you.
Really glad that you're here today.
I'm glad to be here.
So I got to ask you the question I ask all of my guests when we get started. Do you have any siblings?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about your siblings.
Okay, I have a brother named Rusk and a sister named Susan.
Okay.
And I'm the oldest by 10 and 13 years.
Okay.
So I
Big head
ended
start.
up, yeah. I kind of had a early family, helping take care of. But yeah.
And you stay in touch with them still?
I do. I'm living with my sister right
Wonderful.
now. And my brother, I did live with him up in Iowa and his family and helped take care of their children when they were working. So that was a part of my whole traveling and stuff. So yes, I've remained very close to both of them.
Good. And we're going to get into some of your travels and talk about some of that. But before we do, we got to know each other a little over 20 years ago at Abilene High School. You were teaching with Clay Freeman, and I came in that year as the technical director. Same year I met Sam Wolf, our producer extraordinaire.
Yes.
And we did a few shows together, and you have a rich theater background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that? Share a little bit of those details.
About my theater background?
Yeah.
Well, my mom was pretty much responsible for that because she wanted to be an actress herself. But she got me started in the third grade doing, because I've thought about this question, how I got into this. But she started me by doing lip syncing to records. And I first started in the third grade going and doing banquets. At the time, I was doing Betty Hutton's version of You Can't Get a Man with a Gun, which is, I don't know if you know who Betty Hutton is, but long ago person back in the 50s, 1950s. And she had a song I'm trying to think of the actual show, but the song was like, You Can't Get a Man with a Gun. And I kind of sometimes remember the lyrics, but it's just a wonderful kind of fun song. And she's dressed in cowgirl kind of clothes, and she says, she's talking about you can't get a man with a gun. It's just a great little song. And Mom loved it, loved Betty Hutton. So she got me started with lip syncing and doing that kind of thing. So I moved forward, in my early years doing lip syncing, and that is. It's a great way to kind of move into acting because you really learn to physicalize. Because you can't just lip sync and stand there.
Yeah.
So I think if there was anything she gave me that helped and really influenced me as an actress, it was that ability to not just speak, but to physicalize. To communicate through your body.
Yeah.
And that came in very handy with characterizations.
And probably some audience awareness, too, I would imagine. Being able to read a room and
absolutely.
See who you're entertaining and not. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think in one of the pictures, there's a picture of Moriarty that I literally was very often comfortable in going down into the aisle, and the director's that one, that's Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes, and I did it opposite Mark Medoff, who directed it, but also played Sherlock, and so the costumers and they made a chest thing for me and all of that, so I looked like a man, and they put gloves on me because I had women hands and that sort of stuff, and the makeup artists, costumers. It was amazing. It was one of the most fun parts I ever played because I got to go down the aisles, and it freaked the audience out several times. I noticed because I started down the stairs into the aisle, and people were not used to that at the time that I was acting and doing that, and it wasn't done that often.
Yeah,
but I
we don't
worked
break
with
the fourth wall very often.
yeah,
as
but
theater
I
people.
worked with directors that liked to break the fourth wall, and so I became very comfortable with it.
That's great.
Yeah, if I could make you laugh, if I could then turn around and make you cry, that's power.
Yeah,
That's power.
it is. So your mom got you involved, and were you involved in theater during high school?
High school, I studied with Bill Overton. I had 3 different teachers in drama at Cooper High School. But Bill, I had, I think, the longest. He was my last teacher in high school. But George Sorensen, who I'll talk about further, he was at Cooper High School like in the first years of its being. I can't remember when Cooper started, but he was one of the theater teachers right when it first started. So as I was coming into Cooper, he was on the way out, kind of, as I recall, maybe a year or 2 after. But I had seen his work, and he made an impression on me, his work and stuff. But then Overton did too. I mean, I worked with great directors. Overton had his own style. He was like the musical comedy, and I was very good at stealing the scenes with that too. I never cared about having the lead. I learned very early that those are not necessarily the best roles to have. If you really want to grab an audience, you go for the second lead.
Yeah.
Because they're short, sweet, and usually funny. Usually much funnier and much better.
I like that.
Yeah.
And so high school, Cooper in Abilene, and then college.
Yeah, I wasn't going to college. Yeah, this is a good part of my story. I had a great speech teacher at Cooper too, Beth K. Stannard, and I did a lot of speech tournaments and stuff like that too. Dramatic, interp and all. And I told her one day. She asked me, "Are you going to go to college?" And I went, "Nope, I'm not going to college. I'm going to New York." And she kind of stepped back. And I think she's the one that got in touch with George Sorensen, who was at Hardin Simmons around that time. He had moved over there. And she said, "Well, you should really go to college." And I went,
Not for me.
I got a letter. I think she called George Sorensen. And I got a letter from George Sorensen saying, "I think you should come I would like to talk with you. So can we get together, interview or something?" I said, "Okay." And we set up a time and appointment, and I went to Hardin Simmons. And I went into the office, and within about 15 minutes, he had me. Because not only was he super intelligent, but he was so insightful as to who he was dealing with. And he's the reason I went to college. He said, "You need to go to college. He said, you need to have ways." He said, "If you want to act, that's great."
Yeah.
And he said, "I can help you there. But you need to also be able to make a living because theater is not easy. And if you head off, to New York or wherever you think you want to go, you have to be able to make a living. And it's not going to be acting for a while because it usually takes, at the time, they would say 7 to 8 years in the New York City to kind of make it
Make
into
a name for yourself.
Yeah. Even if you're really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I went. I did finally get there, but because I really needed to learn all of that myself. So, you know, he said, you need to go to school. He said, you need a fallback. I said, okay. And he said, I'm at Hardin-Simmons, and I want you here. And he said, I don't have a lot of money to help you with. You'll have to get loans. And I paid on those a long time. But he said, I will help you every way I can. And I became office manager again. That's kind of how I made it through it. I would just work in the office and do tickets and, you know, whatever I could do, publicity. And he's the reason I had great teachers all the way around, but George Sorensen was a special human and a special teacher. He never used notes. He could teach off the top of his head, and it was very quality kind of information, you know. And he was so good at directing and working with young actors and that sort of thing, and actor training, you know, physical. And I think that's where I got a lot of my physical work, you know, because he believed it's not just, if you incorporate that character, you have to have the ability to be flexible, to, you know, change your walk, change your posture, change whatever it is to fit that character so that the audience buys into it, that you're not just acting, you're becoming. You're kind of becoming that character.
I like that.
I did too, and that's why I followed him all the way and ended up with almost a PhD.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because I ended up following him to TCU and then on to Texas Tech.
Okay. And at what point did you meet Clay Freeman?
Clay at Abilene High.
At Abilene High?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I knew Clay right before Abilene High. I already knew Clay somewhat from theater days.
Yeah.
At ACT.
Okay.
At the community theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went Hardin-Simmons, TCU, Tech.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. And then we're kind of floating back around and through Abilene after that.
Oh yeah, in and out. And then I wasn't back from New York that long before I had a friend, Sandy Vincent, Clay again. It was that was it. That was the connection that got me to Mark.
Sandy.
It was Sandy.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was Sandy that got me the connection to Mark Madoff at New Mexico State University because she was the costume designer there. And Clay had tried to get over there, and I don't remember what happened, but she lived there. They both were there. Yeah, my brain.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
My
So,
brain.
but this is important to your story because it's when you got to meet Mark Madoff and start working with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I walked in. I had an appointment for an interview. I called and got an appointment for an interview, and Clay and Sandy helped me establish that because they were looking for someone with my qualifications. They were looking for an acting teacher. They were looking for a movement teacher. They were looking for possible some directing, but he was also looking for someone to work through his scripts with him. Sometimes he needed, readings for new scripts. So he wanted an actor quality that could come in and sit down and read scripts as well. So I kind of fit the bill. I ended up running the little attic theater for the student theater after I got the job. But yeah, Clay and Sandy got me there, and I walked into the foyer, and I was a little scared because Mark Madoff is he just is very calm, and he's not a big talker. He's an observer. I didn't know that at the time, so I just I have to entertain, I have to be good, but I remember he first looked at me and he said, "Oh, you're Donna." I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, come in." So I went in, sat down, had about an hour interview with him, and he told me what he was looking for, and he had my resume and all of that, and he said, "Clay and Sandy say good things about you," and he said, "I'm looking for somebody to kind of help me expand the theater department," and he said, "I think you're it," and I went, "Well, okay." I'm here. Okie dokie. A lot of people were afraid of Mark Meldoff. He was just a quiet man. He didn't chit chat a lot, but he was had a good heart, a good man, a writer. He was a writer, essentially that decided I can do all of this, and he did. He built a department.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was wonderful, and I was right in on the beginning of his kind of. Well, I was about a third of the way into his taking that department and building it to what it became, because he started doing shows. He would bring in famous actors, from California or New York, because he was working with those people. He wrote Children of a Lesser God, which won all the Tonys and all of that. So he had connections, and he started building what he called the Southwest Theater Company, which was attached to New Mexico State Theater, and bringing in professionals to work with the students. So we would be cast in a show, perhaps, and I got to act as well as teach with someone, a professional.
That's great.
Yeah, it was, because he felt that was the best way to train.
Well, why not? I mean,
I think it's a great way to train.
if you get to hang out with the cream of the crop, probably going to get better.
Yep.
So how long were you in New Mexico State?
Almost 8 years.
Okay.
In the 70s, I want to say. My decades have all
Blurring.
melded together. I think back, I go, 60s, 70s, 80s, I don't know.
Somewhere in there. That's great.
Yeah.
And then, so at that point, did you come back to Abilene after New Mexico State, or did you have some more travels?
Probably yes. I came back. I always come back to Abilene.
It has that appeal on some of our souls.
It does. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I did come back. Most of the time it's for family. And I'm not sorry about that at all. But I really just wanted to travel. And that's still a part of me. And I traveled so much that I started going to places like, once I retired, I started going to, and even before that, I started traveling to different states. So I've traveled to all of the states except maybe 5. I think I've narrowed it down to the 5 that I haven't gone through or been to here in the United States. And I have to say that that was one of the best things I ever did. I love being on the road. I love driving through new country, new territory, meeting new people, taking pictures. I love to take photos and stuff. And I would find a job and I'd stay for a while.
Yeah.
Teaching, I could almost always get a substitute teaching job with my teaching background, which, okay, you were right.
Thanks for the degree.
Okay, you were right.
Yep.
And I could always then use my kind of, I don't know, acting abilities, to be whatever I felt they needed it to be. Can you type? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say the theater is the best education because it prepares you for anything.
Oh, it does. I remember someone told me, take typing. when I was in high school. And I said, ugh. And they said, no, really. I think it might have been in the theater or speech department. They said, take typing. So I did, and I happened to be fairly good at it. So when I was in New York, I got by working temp jobs, typing and things like that.
That's
so
great.
I learned trades that, are needed but are kind of temporary. I survived.
You survived. I love it. So again, we met a little over 20 years ago.
Yep.
And we're colleagues for a year at Abilene High School, and it was really great. That was a fun year for me. And after that, we've stayed in touch some.
Not as much.
Not as much, but there was a period of time right after that you got really involved in cycling.
Oh, yeah. I think
And
there's a picture of
I don't know that you were really into cycling when we first met, but
No.
then you got into it.
No.
And I remember
there
that
it is.
journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen? Oh, I know how it happened. I met some people that were cyclists, and they said you should go to Bike Town. You should go over to Bike Town, and I thought that's kind of a cool thing to do, and I went over to Bike Town. They used to be at a different place now. They're still in town, and Jim is the owner. And he and I clicked. I also worked at Bike Town.
I forgot about that because you went to Park Tool and got got some more education on how to repair a bike. It's pretty great. I remember all this now. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, it's true. I walked in and there was several college-age guys, and they were like working there. And Jim was like, I said, this is good. I need to do this.
Yeah, this looks fun.
I know, this looks fun. And he said, yeah, you need to do this. And that bike right there is the first bike he sold me. And I started going out to Buffalo Gap and riding. And he said, you shouldn't ride alone. So I did some group rides with he and his buddies. And I learned a lot there. And then I worked there part-time some because that's what I do.
That's right.
That's how I learn. And he said, yeah, you can work here part-time and I'll teach you how to work on your bike and, how to do some stuff. And you can go on group rides with us. And so I did all of that. And then I started doing Live Strong rides. And because Lance Armstrong was a big deal for me back at that point, and a big reason for me to get active in something. Because I wasn't a runner, and I like to swim, but it just, running was not, just not for me. Hiking was good, walking was good. Riding a bike, though, is power.
It is. It's freedom.
It's total freedom and total power. And I miss it because I'm not so good on the bike right now. But
And you had an injury, if I remember right.
I have a horrible injury. Yeah, but the injury is not what keeps me off the bike.
Right.
It's in this ankle. I still have screws. 5 screws. I had a total of 7 screws.
Dang.
Yeah. I fell in a ditch near Buffalo Gap.
Yeah.
My bike went, that bike that was showing went, I don't know how it happened. It was right before a climb, and suddenly I was in the ditch, and I was clipped in the pedals because I did that. It was right out there. And that's not the exact place I broke it, but it's not far from there, probably. But I fell in the ditch. I knew something was wrong. Luckily, I was with people, and they called and got someone to come get us, and they took me to the hospital. And he said, you have a fractured whatever. And
You messed up.
Yeah, you messed up. And I said, what? I've got to do that ride.
Yeah.
You know, in 6-7 months or whatever. And they said,
No way.
I did it. I did it. But it was actually a little longer than 6 or 7 months. But anyway, I trained as soon as I could at the gym, on the stationary bikes.
Yeah,
And
we rode some classes together.
Yeah, the Hendrick. And so that's where I got my cycling back.
I love it.
Yeah.
But not cycling so much anymore today.
I don't get to as much. It's just harder to ride in town. And
Yeah.
I have my rack. I don't enjoy the road bike as much because the road bike is a little bit. Road bikes are very light and very different.
I might
I
even
have a
say
little
technical.
mountain bike, huh?
I might even say more technical.
Yeah,
of a
they
ride.
are more
Yeah.
technical in a lot of ways. And it brings back, I guess, that accident maybe, I don't know. But I do have a little mountain bike that I like to ride at the park and stuff. It's just I don't feel safe, you know, in town.
Well, Abilene, I've noticed, you know, for the 25 years that I've lived here, that we have a lot of cyclists, but we're not a bike-friendly community. And,
Right.
and I want to bring that up to my audience today to let's make this more bike-friendly.
Bike-friendly.
community. You know, just give the bike riders some space on the shoulder and be aware of them. And,
Exactly.
You know, please don't throw your beverages at them. Yuck.
No, it happens.
It does all the time.
It happened to me.
It's not cool. So
When I was riding out Buffalo Gap years ago, it was awful sometimes.
I think that's probably why I never really got into road biking with this particular crew, even though I grew up doing it. It just
Right.
doesn't feel I don't feel seen on the road by
No,
drivers.
you're not really.
So it's just a
seen.
little bit more dangerous. It feels more like a rodeo.
Yeah.
But what a great thing. Bicycling is amazing. Everyone should get out on their bikes and ride
Get
today.
out on
It's
your
so
bike.
pretty.
Yeah. I get out on mine when I can, and I just wish I could get back,
Yeah.
you know, like I used to. But I don't know that there is a used to anymore, you know, to do that. It just doesn't seem safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So theater, bicycling, teaching, caretaking a family.
There's that little great nephew right there. Oh yeah, Wolfwood.
And then let's talk about, so you know, over the years, we've just barely
Oakland.
kept up to know, you know, you've been gone, you travel, you go to Colorado, you come back, you go to different places and come back. You're a nomad a little bit.
I'm pretty much a nomad.
But let's talk
wanderer.
about these wolves and stuff, because you've got some fun stories, I'm sure.
It might be the best story I have. That right there, that picture, is Oakley, who's no longer on Earth with us anymore. when I went to Colorado, I had a house sit for a friend I went to high school with, and she needed to be here with with her mother. So she needed someone to live in her house, and she wasn't sure how long it was going to be. So I said, okay. So I went up and lived in Cortez, which is Cortez, Colorado, which if you then go east, you get into Durango. And then this refuge is not far from Durango. It's further out from the city, though, and close to a little bit foothills of some hills. She doesn't give out the information for obvious reasons. But, that's Wiley E., my coyote friend. He's a coyote. He is my buddy. He's still alive. He isn't. He likes belly rubs. And not everyone could deal with Wiley E. He lived with 2 dogs, just pretty much little dogs. But the story about Wiley, the owner, Paula, someone called her and said, there is this little coyote pup sitting under these homes that are being built. He's just sitting out there by himself, and we don't see any mamas or anybody. And he said, so we don't know what to do. And she said, I don't really do coyotes, but I'll come look. So she went out, and, well, he was adorable. And she said, well, okay, I'll take him. She took him she always took new ones into her home, and she, covered her arms and stuff. And she worked with him until he became comfortable with her. And he ended up in a place close to the house, the home that she lived in. It was more like an expanded trailer home kind of situation out there. And so she could always keep an eye on him. The funny thing about Wally E., he let certain people in, and he would roll over and you could rub his belly, but not everyone. And he would check out who it was, before he would come to you. And if he didn't want to mess with you, he didn't come to you. But he and I hit it off, and it was like I would walk in, and he would like roll over, and come rub my belly. Yeah, he was just this sweetest baby. He also, kids would ask, Paula would say, would you take these kids over there and get close so they can see that he will, come to you? And I said, yeah. And he'd come to me, and I'd scratch through the fence, and that somebody would want to go over, and he'd go, nope. He was off. Yeah, Wally is... I miss him. I miss him a lot. He taught me a lot about this is a pretty much all dog. There was different percentages of wolf. There was a 9-pack that she picked up. Oh, I loved that baby right there. She picked up a 9-pack of full wolf pups years ago, and they had called her and they said, we understand you have, refuge for, animals that are loose or whatever. And he said, would you be interested in 9 wolf pups? And she went, well, okay. Sure. So, and she calls it Wolfwood Refuge. I mean, so, she was ready. She was ready for a wolf. She had some halves and that sort of thing, but she didn't have any fulls. And so they air shipped these pups, and that Oakley that you see me with his head on top, he was huge. Oh, that's the 6-pack. Out of the 9-pack, that's the 6-pack. Oakley was the leader of the 6-pack. He should not have been the leader. Most wolves choose the strongest, most intelligent. This pack, probably, Oakley. This pack chose Oakley, who was absolutely you want to pet me? I don't care.
Just a lover.
Oh, he was the sweetest, gentlest of them all, the biggest, but the most gentle. And he had these blue eyes. Just an incredible animal. And so this is Oakley letting me know who's in charge. I love you, and I'm going to prop my head on your head. Yeah, that was a really valuable experience to me about wildlife and how animals and humans connect and should connect, in certain ways. Yeah, they shouldn't have to be in cages.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the other option would be gone. Yeah. They would be gone. So what she did up there and what I learned was one of the, other than theater, it was wolf theater. It was that's me going, yeah. I guess it opened up that wildness in me, or I maybe it helped me understand that wandering wildness in myself. Maybe that was what the wolves were about, to say, because I've always been a wanderer, and wolves are wanderers. You know, I mean, they have certain trails that they follow, but and coyotes for sure are wanderers when they have a place to wander.
Yeah.
So I became very involved with the unnecessary killing of wolves, and that happens up in the northern west area states a lot.
Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, less in Colorado, but still some. It just was a great emotional and intellectual tapping into who I felt I was.
I love that.
That's all I can say. That's why it was so special to me. Look at that. I'm sorry, but and kids would come in and get to sit with him. Ben is the one who helped raise them. Ben was really the human connection, the first human connection. Paula got them there, and she was in charge. But Ben was Oakley's. That was his person. And so when they would go and talk to people about wolves and the need for wolves in our wildlife, and kids and stuff they were awestruck by Oakley.
Did you experience any negative, or a not necessarily negative? I guess it would be negative in our mind, but a reminder experience of the wild side of wolves and potential of it.
Oh yeah, I have little scars on my arms.
The neighbors of my parents they had a pack in town, and we've lost maybe a half a dozen dogs.
Yeah.
To them, either being pulled through or one time one got out somehow. It was.
Yeah.
But man, when they're contained by themselves, you forget. Like they turn into it almost feels like you're with dogs, really, really big dogs.
Really big dogs.
They are really, really big. Yeah, they are. I mean, it's just something that we as a society fail to remember, that this earth really didn't belong to humans first. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think, at least in my mind. So, the wolf is a very, very intelligent animal. More intelligent than a dog, more intelligent than some humans. And you just learn how to, you learn. More intelligent than me. That's sweet puppy. Yeah, I mean, it's no wonder. I love dogs. I know, I love cats. I love animals, but I think the wolves is what woke me up to that in a big, big way. Because I went, why are we killing these animals? Why are we killing? This is their. Well, there's just so few left. And they have a purpose. Their purpose, they had a purpose. We closed them off from that purpose because of our population growth, and just everything is. I feel for them because we're losing them.
Yeah. Would you ever consider writing a piece of stage work about this?
Ooh, that's a good one. I hadn't really thought about this as a stage work because it's wolves.
Yeah, and it's wild. But maybe.
I'm not sure how I would go about that, but that's a thought. It's a thought. I might have to make a note of that before I leave here. Yeah, a play about wolves.
Well, because I feel like publicity is relatively limited on some of these things you brought up, like rewilding places and how important a wolf population is. Like Yellowstone, I know, has had a big program the last decade or two.
Yeah.
And other,
I
other
met the woman who got that
right?
started.
So other conservation efforts, and so there's a little bit of publicity out there about that, but maybe bringing it into this other aspect that maybe only you could really share, because
Maybe.
it's the rewilding of your own soul and a deeper connection, and I don't know. Donna,
No,
I don't know.
that's a good point. It's a very good point, and I think I'm right there
Mm-hmm.
in my life of looking back
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the important connections, and the theater was obviously up there. I think it was turning from that helped me with that, with the wolves, because I would sit there and sing in those pens with them, and they would howl. You know?
Yeah,
And so I kind of was a wolf. So
I love it.
yeah, me
So when
too.
do you get to go back and see the puppies up there?
I don't know. I won't. Most of them are gone that I took care of. So that dog is still alive, but is not a wolf at all. In
He's
any
just
shape
a
or form,
fuzzy
but is
lover.
but is owned by a couple that work out at the refuge still, and that I stay in touch with. I don't know. I think my car traveling, maybe days are short, just due to how hard it is to drive by car anymore. And I still have my 2011 Camry.
Toyota. Like a good Toyota.
My Toyota Camry, which is still working. It's still going. I don't know. I had hoped this fall. I'm not sure that's going to happen because of a toddler, but maybe, you know. He's now kind of, you know, they're kind of getting their own space and stuff. So I think hopefully I can go soon.
Do some more nomading.
A little bit nomading. That's on the White Sands out in New Mexico.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it. Friends there took me sliding down the sands, and it was great fun. And that's probably one of my favorite photos, because I don't have very many photos of me, because I take photos, and I'm not comfortable a lot of times. That's funny, since I was in theater, but there I am with Mark Medoff. But yeah, that photo is one of my favorites. And I don't even know where the couple is that took that. I was with a married couple that we decided to go stand.
Oh, you're such a pleasure to talk to, Donna. I always enjoy it, and we don't get to do it often enough.
I know we should do it more often.
You're just a wonderful tale weaver and storyteller.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I talk.
That's right. That's wonderful.
But now I have a life to talk about.
Yeah.
And so that's why I went, okay, yeah, I would like to do that. I don't know how I'll do because of my age, but it seemed to go okay.
Wonderful. What other stories do you want to share with us that we didn't get to touch on?
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm looking back through all these. Oh, see that one, me standing in front of the bus? It's right next to the one I'm riding the broom. Yeah, that one. That's me. And the guy on that end is Randy Rudd. Randall Rudd. Do you remember that name?
It does sound kind of familiar.
Tommy Grisham, who I was dating at the time, this is at Cooper High School, is on this side of me. Earl Meadows, who passed away at too young of an age. I'm trying to think. Oh, that's Randall's brother. Yeah, I'm still in touch with Randall Rudd. He's gone into film and all sorts of stuff. He's kind of one of those, gets into a bunch of, he liked film and making films, and now he's kind of more, I think, just doing whatever he wants to do, pretty much. He's not here in Abilene anymore, but I still am in touch with him, like on social media and stuff. But Earl passed away. Tommy, I haven't heard. He lived in Abilene, but I don't know where he is now. Yeah, this group, I was a big follower of that group. Chicken Little and the Egg Whites was their name.
Chicken Little and the Egg Whites.
Yep, that was their name. And they were a band. They played fun music, rock and roll kind of stuff. And they also played, Randy wrote music. So some of the music that they played was kind of cartoony stuff, too. I mean, he's a very talented guy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. Me rafting, that was a fun thing. Yeah, that's my family, my brother, my nieces. Caitlin is the leader back there, the redheaded. That's my brother's oldest. I see Becca and Noah. These are all my brother's children that I helped take care of when they were young. Mm-hmm. Yep. What else we got there?
So they call you Aunt Donna?
Yeah. Yeah. Aunt Donna. The youngest one here calls me Ete.
Who knows?
Don't know why. Oh, there's Mark Madoff and I, back when I was with Mark Madoff. Miss him too. Cheers, drinking some wine. That's in Las Cruces. George Sorensen is the picture that had the most powerful effect on my life outside of my family. He was an educator beyond and a creative educator. He never taught the same lessons, hardly ever. I mean, he would just improvise.
I love
he
that.
He was just really great.
I mean,
that's Caitlin, my brother's oldest. Oh my gosh, that's my brother hugging Becca, his youngest, in the front, and oh my gosh, his son Noah back there, who I helped raise with his once upon a time girlfriend. Me, Kylie, my niece that lives here, was visiting. Becca is the youngest of my brothers, and she and I are like this. Becca and I probably, she's kind of redheaded, but she works for the National Park Service up in Oregon right now. Every 6 months her job changes. Right now she's tagging salmon in the river and throwing them back in. Yeah.
Fun.
Awesome stuff. I love her. I love them all, but Becca has my personality. She was going to go theater or something like this, outdoors somehow. And she was good in theater. She was a good little actress, but she decided on the outdoors. I said, good choice.
Yeah.
Me with Beto. I've seen him every time he came here. I saw him in Sweetwater first, and then I came here twice to see him. He knows me by my face now. We know each other. Yeah, he's a good guy. I had a lot of respect for him. Who else is here? My sister with me there, whom I'm living with right now. And that's several years ago. Helping her out, helping everybody out. That's what I do. Let's see who else is in here. Oh, Mark Madoff. That's me with Mark Madoff over there. Yep. And you know what I'm doing? I'm teaching him what to do on his phone. How's that?
That's great. I love that, Donna.
I did too. Me
fun.
with my Livestrong. That was back when my cap. I can't find the photo I took in that cap. I didn't take it actually, but the person that took it, it was Cindy Maloney, I think, Buster and Cindy. I think they came to see me on that ride. There was a butterfly that lit on that cap, and she got a photo of it, but I can't find it. Oh, the Panhandle woman. Oh, that was in Scotland right there, visiting my friend. The Panhandle woman there with all the stuff, that one. That one. Up. Yeah. I had a tumbleweed tied to my waist. I made my own costume. I created the character because in the actual play, this character is a man and a narrator. And George Sorensen directed it, and he said, I don't really have a good part for you unless you want to try to do something with this narrator. I said, yeah, I'll do that.
I can make something work.
I can make that work.
I can make that work,
And
George.
so I talked to the costume designer. I said, I want to be a roamer. I want to be a homeless, during the, it was during the Depression era. I said, I want to be out there. So I tied it. I tied a tumbleweed to my waist, so wherever I walked, that tumbleweed followed me. And once people got used to it, that was the thing that was brought up the most. Was I could not take my eyes off of that tumbleweed. I said, the point made.
Good. That's good.
Because I'm tied to that. But in that can, there was dust and dirt. So as I walked around, I would turn around and literally sling dirt. Yeah.
That's great.
So the audience loved that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They kind of went, whoa, what is she doing? Because I was the closest one to the audience always. And then the costume was just kind of a brown, looked like stuff that pulled out of trash cans and whatever. Yeah, that was absolutely one of my, and I had dishes, like metal dishes tied to me.
Clanking around. And
Yeah, so I clanked too.
Yeah.
I made all the racket. It's
So-
called, if you can't get the lead,
pull attention.
you just take all the attention.
Look at me. Look at me.
And actually, this part was nothing, really. It was nothing, really.
What was the last piece of theater that you were involved with?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm not even sure. When did I stop? I can't answer that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what year.
Do you want
decade?
Do you want to do something else again in the future? I mean, you mentioned maybe doing a stage reading.
Yeah, I would love to, but as I mentioned, I have a short-term, I guess you can call it short-term. It's a cognitive memory, age from aging. It makes it hard to remember lines. So I don't see myself actually getting up and acting again unless it's some kind of mime.
Sure. So, just remember you're blocking.
I could do an improv I don't know. Maybe improv is the answer.
Yeah.
But I can still do stage readings. My sister keeps wondering why I'm not, just don't go direct something or, and I go, I don't know why. I just really miss acting. So I have to get over that, I guess, and move on. Because I could direct, I could do that. And I could do stage readings. I don't know about improv. Improv would be a little, I'd have to see. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I couldn't, but I might improv totally way out there.
She might be. What is she talking about?
What is she talking about?
She's on a bender again. Yeah.
Maybe.
Improv with seniors.
Senior
You never
improv.
know where it's going to go.
I
gonna go.
like that.
I do too.
Actually,
Are we in a memory right now?
that's not a bad idea, though.
It could be really
That could be fun.
fun. It could
be
also
fun.
be
Yeah.
a little dangerous.
It could be
in
very
terms of-
dangerous.
Dangerous.
It could be very dangerous.
Oh, man. I like it.
Wow.
Well, I do want to encourage you to think about maybe writing something in regards to these sacred moments with the wolves and sort of what that did for you internally. I think that's got some power in it.
It does have power because it does. But as I said, you're going to have to watch me put it in my notes on my
Gotta remember.
phone.
I'll text you.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
text
will
you.
you?
I will.
Promise?
I will, yeah.
Okay. Because honestly, that's how I survive. I think it's, it's not just a memory. I think it's also, there is so much going on in my brain. As you get older, you've got so much stored. And that's why I have so many photos, because to me became the way I could store my memories better than, trying to remember them. I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
Because now I can look at my photo and I can go, oh, yeah, I know. I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as we age, I'm grateful to be alive and fairly healthy, but it ain't easy. You just miss a lot of your young self. But I did do a good job of living my best life. Oh, my little ears there. You betcha. Yeah, my wolf ears. I love them. That's my Halloween costume every year.
That's great. That's great. Well, as we kind of wrap things up today, do you have any questions for Sam or for me?
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Let's put you on the spot a little bit more.
I don't know. I don't know what to ask, except that, we taught together, and I taught him, too, and, we all had fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a great time. Yeah, Sam has always been special. Not in a...
Maybe in a special way. We're all special, Sam.
Yeah, we're all special. I'm special, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We are all special.
Well, this has been really fun, and I've really enjoyed having you on the podcast. And
this is my first.
I know, getting you to share a little bit about all of it.
Yeah. I'm excited about being on a podcast. I know I've done TV and stuff like that, but not really a podcast.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
Not just focused on you.
Yeah. I like that, and I appreciate it, and I, felt comfortable and, was able to entertain at the same time.
It's wonderful. You're great. I love spending time with you, Donna.
That's who I am. That is who I am.
Good.
A wolf and an entertainer.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that.
And a coyote. Oh, I miss that baby. Oh, that baby's so cute. After we're done here, I'll show you a picture of him.
Good.
A better picture.
Well, feel free to come down any Thursday morning and watch us do this again. Be part of our live audience. We'd love to have you.
Okay. Yeah, where is my live audience?
Well, right there. We've got Tim today. He came back from last week.
Yeah. Cool.
It's pretty good.
Thank you for being here. Of course, you see, I just keep talking anyway.
I love it, Donna. So good. Well, we're going to wrap this up a little bit today, and I want to give a couple little notes. There is a big festival that's happening this weekend in Baird, Texas, just down the road on I-20, called the Big Time Baird Bash. You can see there's a great lineup, and I think Benjamin Fair might have gotten his start with William Clark Green. Actually, he might be able to tell a story about that. But yeah, you've got some great acts coming down. I think this is the first time they've done it. They're getting a lot of publicity, and I just want to be a part of supporting this cause. It's a great cause. If you are a veteran of any capacity, I believe that it is free. Children under 10 are free. It is a 12 noon until 12 p.m. event this Saturday in Baird. Lots of food trucks and adult beverages, and I think the parking is free. Tickets are $25 before and $30 at the door. But anyway, check that out. We're not really that involved, except that we're going to go support them and do some cool stuff with that. Ben is in the house. He's going to be doing the breakdown with Ben coming up next. And I don't know that I have any other things to report, except that we've got another great character from the Storybook Capital of America coming next week, Thursday. And then I've got a special Halloween program that I'm putting together for you guys. So I hope you're getting excited about that. Again, feel free to come down Thursday mornings, grab some coffee next door at Majestic Coffee Shop. They serve Onyx coffee, which is delicious. And we got the breakdown with Ben coming on next. I think that's all for today. Sam, thank you so much, producer extraordinaire. Take us on out. Donna, thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.